Alright, you lot. Now, I've had a lot of questions about this particular Honda EX500. People have seen it, you lot have seen it in previous videos sitting there on the floor, and in the other video when I repaired that 2-stroke generator. Some of you lot were saying, what about that Honda? What about that Honda? What's to do with the Honda? Well, this Honda I've had for years. I think it's from 1980 something. It's a very good generator, but it's only I can't remember. It's a 500, but I think it's like 350 peak or something like that. Probably says it on here somewhere what it is. But I don't run it that often. I haven't run it for a long time. It did run the last time. Obviously it ran the last time I started it. But I haven't changed the oil in it for ages, so I think what we'll do is we'll do a bit of a service. So I'll check on the air filter and change the oil. I haven't got any 1540. I'd normally put 1540 in engines like this, lawnmowers and whatnot. The only oil I've got is 530, but I think it'll be alright for now. It'll be alright full stop. I mean, it doesn't get run that often. And 530, that's a good grade 530 as well. There's nothing wrong with that. So we'll stick a bit of that in, drain the old oil out, see what that's like, and have a look at the air filter. And then we'll start it up. I'll tell you what, we'll start it up first, get it nice and warm before we drain the old oil out. Right then, you lot, there we go. A lovely. This one normally starts up pretty well, but it ain't been run for, I don't know, 6, 7, maybe even 8 months, maybe even a year. It's just been sitting there. It's got a bit of petrol in it, old petrol. Let's turn it on. That's how long it ain't been turned on for. The on and off switch is also the valve for the petrol. So, automatic choke. I ain't got a choke to worry about. Let's see what happens. Lovely, man. The oil light's always on. I think it's just a loose wire on the back of it. I've got to try and put that wire back. I don't know what that is. That never worked. Frequency. Yeah, it never worked. Got that, that's there. It's nice and warm now. I dare say there's probably a drain plug somewhere underneath. I can't see one. Probably is a drain plug. I can't see one. But anyway, I'm just going to drain it out of here. So I'll undo the little dipstick. Little dipstick there, I'll undo that. And I'll just pour it out. Let's see what colour we get. Oh, that's very black. We could definitely do with that, even if the 530 is a little bit too thin. I think we could definitely do with some clean oil. So even if that is a bit thin, I think it'll be better. How can we have it? Oh look, loads more, look. God, it's hot. Right, so that's the state of the oil that come out of it. There weren't a lot in there, but I know it was up to level because I checked it. So, very black. Let's put some new oil in. It ain't going to take a lot of this anyway. It only has to be filled up to the top of that, and you can read that with the dipstick, which is nothing really. It's a very small amount of oil that takes, very small sump. So a little bit of this 530. Looks like it's just starting to show at the bottom of the threads. Spilled quite a bit there. There it is. Just starting to come out. So we'll put that in. Do that up. Lovely job. Right, let's have a look at see what this says in air filter. So we've got a bit of writing on the air filter, and it says air cleaner maintenance. Clean element every 50 hours under dusty conditions, every 10 hours. Tightly. Washing in cleaning solvent. Squeeze tightly, then dip in fresh engine oil and squeeze excess oil. So it's interesting to actually tell you to use oil, because a lot of modern things they won't tell you. You know, I mean, they just, it's not really a thing. But you know, on the older ones, they actually told you how to do things properly. Now it's obvious when I got this there wasn't an air filter in it. I've forgotten all about it, but I'd made an air filter out of a sponge. This is just an ordinary dishwashing sponge. So I'd made an air filter, and well, I suppose it works quite well. Doesn't look like any of it's been sucked in. There's a bit of rust on that metal plate. I might get a wire brush and try and brush that off. Where are you? I don't know where I'm filming. All I can see is a faint outline on the screen because it's broken. But there's a bit of rust on this metal cover. So I might get a wire brush. Let's put rust marks on the where are we? Oh, there we are. Let's put rust marks on the filter. So I think I'll bathe that in oil in a minute and clean that out. There's a wire brush. Let's give that a bit of a brush. Get rid of some of the rust that's accumulated in there. This doesn't really need cleaning, that's perfectly fine. I'm just going to put some oil in it. I'll put this towel down. There you go, you should better see that now. And I'm going to need whatever I've done with them. I need my gloves, otherwise I'll just end up getting oil all over this camera. I don't want to be doing that. There you go, there's the sponge. Let's get some of this 530. Some of you are probably going to be saying, oh, you shouldn't put 530 in that engine. You know, it will call for 1540, 530's too thin, or whatever, you know. But 530 it will do for now, it'll be fine. You know, it's not going to be a major problem, that's for sure. There you go. That's bathed in oil, and it stinks. It's not that. That? The sponge stinks. It must have been a dirty sponge when I put it in, when I made it. Must have been a dirty sponge. Anyway, there we go. And also that should stop any more rust appearing on here, because it's covered in oil now. So that should stop all of that, really, shouldn't it? Let's put that back on. That goes that way round. There we go. Not that you can see anything. No, you can see. The next thing we can do, because we can get to it, we haven't got to take any of the cover off or anything, is we'll clean the spark plug. If this wasn't going to start, which I was half sort of expecting, this would have turned into a will it run video. It's ended up being just a service video, but you know, such is life. I actually spray painted this. Yeah, that was definitely there. Nice and clear now. You can't. It was all black before, wasn't it? Yeah, this used to obviously be like a Honda red, but I had the bright idea about 10 years ago to spray paint it, and I bought a bottle of spray paint that was supposed to be Honda red. Unfortunately, it was a lot more sort of darker, and it's definitely not Honda red. So let's take this plug out, give the plug a bit of a clean. Is that going to be the right one? Nope. Rather typically, of course it's not going to be the right one, is it? Of course not. This is the right one now. That was nice and loose. I wonder why it was so loose. Spark plug was all loose. It wasn't even tight. I probably did it up finger tight last time I worked on this and forgot to do it up. Anyway, that looks like that's running quite nice. It's got a nice browny tinge on the electrode. The gap, I don't know what the gap's meant to be. I should get a little instruction book for this generator, really. It's an old plug in GKR. It's the one that come with it. I never changed it. So we'll give it a little bit of a spruce up with a wire brush. And put it back in. Oops. I do need to have a look. If I can find one, an air filter for this, I will get one. But I can't really recall, because it was about 10 years ago or more that I bought this. It might not be quite 10, maybe 8 years ago. But I can't remember if the reason why I made an air filter was because I couldn't find a genuine one, or a proper fitting one that's actually made for it, or something. It must have been a reason. But I generally can't remember why I made an air filter. But if I can find one, a proper air filter for it, I will put it in. I will get one and put it in. But I don't use this generator on a regular basis. It's not like it's being used every day or every week. But it is nice to know that if and when I actually do need to use it, it's all going to be fine. And you know, it's going to run fine. There's not going to be any problems, which is why I've just done this service on it. Because now I know that it's got clean oil in it. The air filter is clean, even though it's the wrong one. So we should be alright. Let's start it up and see if that oil light goes out. If it doesn't, not now, but at some point I'll have to get behind it and see if the connections come off or something. But the oil light's always been on anyway. Alright, here we go. Bloody hell, there's a lot of pressure in it that time, wasn't there? Mad, absolutely mad. Oh no, that won't start. What have we done? Oh, it's going to go. green one. There's obviously a bit of a bad connection on there, or maybe the sender's broken. I'll have to have a look at it and find out what the trouble is with that. But that's not the end of the world. I mean, I know there's oil in it, so as long as I know there's oil in there, that's all that matters really. Let's see what the 12 volts, see if we're definitely reading 12 volts from the 12 volt DC bit. I've already tried to read the 240 volt, but my pins, my probes, won't go deep enough into the socket to get a reading, so I'll have to do that another day when I can be bothered to get an extension lead out. But so we've got it on DC. Let's see what happens. See, hopefully we're reading about 12 or 13 volts, I reckon, or maybe even 14. Oh. Bloody hell. 24, maybe 25. Maybe it'll go down when you put a load on it. It's supposed to be DC 12 volts, but I reckon if I was to put a load on that, as if it was charging a battery, it might go down to around about 13 or 14 volts. Not sure, but that might be the case. Either that or the voltage regulators had it, which is why it's putting out too much voltage. I can't measure that, so I'm going to have to get an extension lead on it and probe the extension lead to see if we're getting 240 from the AC side. But at least I know that's working. I know that works anyway because I plug stuff into it and it works. But you know, it's always good to measure stuff. So there we go, a Honda EX500 from I'm not even 1980 something or other. I think there used to be a sticker on it somewhere that told us the date. Oh, there it is. What's it say? What's it say? Oh look, it tells us the max power here. Oh, that's a lubricant. Look. Lubricant. Oh, that's in litres. 0.35 litres. Fuel, petrol, 2 litres. It takes 2 litres of petrol. 40 amp on the 12 volt section. 50 hertz. I can't read it because there's a thing on that's all taken away. Lubricant change every 50 hours. Yeah, 60 hertz, 400 VA, max 500, 12 volts, 100 watt. Made in Japan. Do not use. I know something about it, carbon monoxide, but can't see what it's actually rated for. But it's rated 330 something. So not quite 500. So 500 maximum. That's like the peak. But it doesn't say the date of when it was, but I'm sure it's 80s or 90s or something around there. But nice old generator, does the job very, very well. So now we've got a good old service. That's the earth point, if you want to put an earth on it, which you're supposed to do really. Nice. Thanks for watching, you lot. Catch ya on the next one.